When the two of them show up in the same spot, you're generally going to get fireworks. So, let's take a look. And I must admit, I felt for the moderator. He did his best, and I reckon at a certain point in time, he just said, let them get at each other and get it out as best they can. The only thing I would say, as they both have strong points to throw at each other, sometimes when the crisscross is getting really brutal, the point gets lost in translation. Regardless, we're going to get into it. It's about a 40-minute video. Going to take it from the top end and not going to watch the whole thing. It's quite lengthy. You can find the full length if you want to watch it over there on YouTube. For now, let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to Global News Today with me, Michal Prendergast. And today, we have a special debate on Netanyahu's threat to reoccupy Gaza amid a worsening humanitarian crisis. And joining me on this is Cenk Uygur, host of the Young Turks, and Rabbi Shmuley Botek, who describes himself as America's rabbi. Let's dive in.
Listen, I have to say, even if these guys show up on anybody's panel as a guest, when they're not confronting one another, they are loud voices. So that dynamic, you put both of them in the same room, you're going to get a chemical reaction, as you'll see.
Thanks so much for your time, gentlemen. I'd like to start with you, Rabbi. Is Israel using starvation as a weapon of war, or is Hamas blocking aid as Israel claims?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me on, and it's nice to debate my adversary.
And the thing is, it always tends to start off so peaceably and quite rapidly descends into gladiatorial, verbal, and intellectual battery.
Maybe one day, friend Cenk, I would ask Cenk at the beginning of this debate, let's try to have a somewhat civilized debate. In the last debate that we did, he called me a Nazi, bulging sinews from his neck. And let's just try to keep this a little bit civil. I'm not a Nazi. And if that's the way this is going to go, I will fight you, but it's the detriment to the audience. So let me address the question. Israel is not only not using starvation as a tactic of war, Israel is the first country in history to actually...
Just a public advisory. If you're of a sensitive nature and easily triggered, you may hear some words that get under the skin in the next few minutes. So you're forewarned and prepared.
Provide food, water, and all the necessities to its enemy. Remember that the Palestinian people, who are innocent, but they still elected Hamas as their representative. Since then, they've been suppressed by Hamas. Israel has delivered 2 million tons of food. That is the equivalent of what the Allies delivered in the Berlin airlift under President Truman between 1947 and 1951, when Stalin cut off all land routes into West Berlin. It is being hijacked by Hamas. There are videos of Hamas shooting the people who gathered at the distribution points. Hamas is taking 80% of the food for their fighters. 2 million tons of food. Where the hell did it go? Then you have the other...
These talking points have been highlighted left, right, center, up, down, everywhere on social media and the mainstream news for the last week, going on 2 weeks. So there's nothing new that they're bringing to the table. And at this stage, what makes it really interesting is I don't know how you can argue some of these facts that are already out there in the public domain.
That the United Nations is refusing to allow the
They do.
To escort them and protect them militarily. The UN hates Israel. We know that so many of the employees of the UN were actually on the Hamas payroll. They were actually terrorists who participated in the October 7th massacres. And they're insisting that only the...
Not completely verified.
blue police of Hamas, which are the terrorists, escort them in. So you have all this food rotting. There was a Wall Street Journal, a firsthand report of a reporter who said
That's
there's
quite true.
crushed carrots, there's crushed peas, all these baby formulas that are sitting and baking in the sun, as the UN says to the IDF, you cannot distribute it. Now, why is that? Because the more of our innocent Palestinian brothers die in Gaza, the more people like Cenk can falsely accuse me. How disgusting is that? Of being a Nazi. I'm in Budapest right now where 600,000 Jews were killed by the Nazis. And you know what, Cenk? You owe me a frickin' apology. And if you were human in the slightest, you would finally deliver it. Because the name of your show is Young Turks who perpetrated.
Cenk ain't giving him no apology. And I don't know if you caught him with Candace Owens a while back. They had a heavy duty debate, and that went back and forth for a while on the internet. And it brewed into a fairly hefty sized beef.
The Armenian
Shmuley, yeah, he's a gladiator. He goes after a ton of people, and a ton of people go after him too, as does Cenk of the Young Turks.
And genocide. It's like my calling my show the Gestapo or the SS. That's disgusting, and you should be ashamed. And one more thing. The New York Times now admits that they lied on their front page. They put a picture of an emaciated, starving Palestinian child 1 week ago on Wednesday on their front page. Later, they were forced to admit the child had muscular dystrophy. He was born with a muscle disorder. That's why he's emaciated. There was a...
Yeah, I get that one. A lot of people had heard it. The child, admittedly, was reported to have muscular dystrophy. That doesn't discount the fact that if he's not getting proper nourishment and, into his young body for his immune system and general well-being, he's not going to be in a better situation than anyone else without those underlying conditions. So it's not a very strong argument coming from the old rabbi. I'm just saying.
Picture of his brother right next to him, which the UN cropped out. He is completely normal. There's a picture of his mother holding her. She is completely normal. There is no starvation in Gaza except for the starvation of Hamas stealing the food. Finally, we know there is starvation in Gaza of Jews who are truly emaciated and were forced by Hamas to dig their own graves in Gaza. Cenk has his show named after a group that killed 3 million.
Mr. Cenk Uygur is being extremely calm. I guess this is just the calm before the storm, because he's not normally that passive when he's getting things hurled at him like this. But it's just a warm up.
People in a true genocide, Cenk, you're an embarrassment. Change the damn name of your show. Thank you.
Allow Cenk to respond now.
Here we go.
This is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent.
Yeah. All right. So these days, Israel is split into two. So there's some folks who are truly horrified to find out that this was not about self-defense, that this was about the occupation of Gaza, to murder as many Palestinians as possible, move them out, ethnically cleanse them, starve them, and take Gaza. So the people who've discovered that, including, by the way, hundreds of military officials in the IDF, and the former head of Shin Bet and 2 former Israeli prime ministers are all speaking out and saying, oh my God, we didn't know that Netanyahu and these monsters running the Israeli government were going to do this. And now the Israeli government has admitted they are going for a, quote, full conquest of Gaza. So we were right all along. It was never about self-defense. It was always about slaughtering the Palestinians and taking their land, which unfortunately is the history of Israel. So, of course, everything that Rabbi Shmuley said is a lie, because if an Israeli supporter of this current Israeli government is talking, they're lying. So he says, oh, my God, there's no problem of food in Gaza. Well, 196 people have starved. I'm sorry.
I mean, I have to admit, that is a pretty difficult one to sort of accept at this stage in the program, that there's nobody struggling with food, lack of food, famine, starvation. Argue it. Still, you'll hear coming from both sides.
193, and 96 of them are children. So we're supposed to ignore our eyes and ears. We're supposed to ignore those pictures. And so this is what they always do with the one case, right? In the beginning of the war, there was a a bomb that landed on a hospital, and Israel was like, I can't believe it. How could anybody say that we would ever hit a hospital? It is it's a mistaken reporting, and it's all anti-Semitic and blah, 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 and blood label, and we're the victims. And then they destroyed almost every hospital in Gaza. So they say, oh, there's one kid who already had a pre-existing condition, so it was okay to starve him to death. Well, how about the other 95 kids? How about the other 192 people that starved to death? So they keep telling us lies, thinking that we're going to believe it when we could all see it. I mean, it's actually a super stupid strategy. It makes the rest of the world hate them even more. 61,000 dead now at a bare minimum in Palestine. Over 30,000 women and children, now approaching 40,000, a stadium full of murdered innocent civilians. Israel is now...
Things are moving so rapidly in the conflict, and the arguments are getting very, very intense, coming from all sides.
50 times this number of civilians as Hamas. That makes them 50 times the terrorists. If you think they didn't intend it, American doctors come back and say, there's 5-year-olds, there's children. I mean, not one or two, a lot of them with sniper shots to the head, to the chest. They definitely intended. Now, what's amazing and interesting, and that's why, look, I don't want hatred to spread, because that doesn't solve anything, okay? I want there to be peace, but Israel's government is saying, no, we don't want peace. So their absurd offer in the ceasefire talks was, give us back all the hostages. We'll give you a couple of weeks break. Then we'll go back to starving and bombing you, and we're going to conquer Gaza. Well, that's not a peace offer. That's a slap in the face. Okay, hold on. You spoke for about half an hour. Let me finish.
No. You're into monologues.
What?
You're never into response.
All right, that's all the Israelis have. Interruptions.
You spoke.
Okay.
Now.
No, you're just lying, as always. They said it's a conquest. So, Rabbi Shmuley, you know that they said it's a conquest, right?
I do not hold an Israeli passport. I'm an American. Now,
I mean, watch the face of the moderator while all of this takes place.
Go back now. Notice that Cenk did not.
I said Israeli supporters.
Note you said Israeli. We can go back and tape. You lie all the time, but it's on freaking tape and it'll air tonight. Now listen to me. Number one.
I don't really care. You support the Nazis.
How would you mediate these two guys?
Of the current Israeli regime. So what do I care which particular Nazi you support?
I want everyone to notice. Number one, Cenk did not respond to the fact that his show is named after the Young Turks, who every historian on earth agrees
he's trying to distract you because he's supporting a genocide.
3 million people.
He supports starving children to death.
After a true genocide, and he won't even change the name, which is an abomination.
Rabbi Shmuley, you know your beloved Israel is murdering children right now. Does it not?
Why would he change the name of his brand and his business?
So you have any conscience?
Don't
you feel guilty at all?
I am going to respond with fact, because Cenk is an utter...
I'm still waiting for the number 2 point.
Ignoramus. I'm going to respond. He says that Israel decided to attack Gaza because it wanted land. Cenk, there was something called October 7th. Israel withdrew from Gaza 20 years ago.
They're taking the land, aren't they, Rabbi?
Don't interrupt
They're taking the land, just like I said they would.
It is the 20th anniversary of Israel's withdrawal. Today, exactly. Today. I'll tell you something else. And Israel withdrew. By the way, in your ignorance, you don't even know that Netanyahu at the time was savaged by his political base for voting for the withdrawal from Gaza. The Israeli army sent its soldiers in to destroy Jewish houses, to remove Jewish. You are just such an ignoramus. It's embarrassing. Go back and look at the videotapes on CNN.
Rabbi, nobody believes you. You can yell and scream all you want. We have eyes and ears.
The point is, you are ignorant of history in a way that it's shocking that anyone puts you on the air. Israel withdrew from Gaza in 2005. Exactly today. This is the 20th anniversary today, August 6th.
I mean, I'll chime in on this particular point because it's repeated a lot in these type of debates, and there isn't really a full kind of way of describing the withdrawal as offering over full control of their governance, state, land, borders, however you describe it. Sometimes people would reference the fact that when Gaza was handed over to the winning party at the time, they weren't able to have their own port. They weren't able to build an airport, have control over that. And I don't believe they had control over their own borders. and they were still under a blockade. So, how much control you really can describe that as having is debatable. But let me not elongate what's to come any further.
I'll tell you something else, which this is the anniversary of. Today is and Netanyahu voted for that withdrawal. Israel did not want any of the land in Gaza. They voluntarily withdrew. They were then savage.
Israel didn't want any land. They just happened to steal all of it.
They were then savagely attacked with women having their breasts cut off and terrorists playing baseball with them.
Israel has done 50 times worse.
You want dead Jews. That's what you pray for.
No, I don't. Absolutely not. That's total lie. It's a liar by a genocide supporting freak.
You are an anti-Semite to your core.
No one cares what you say. No one cares about your insults. Oh, you're going to call me an anti-Semite. Ooh. No one cares, you genocidal freak.
You're an ignoramus. Now, stop. I'm a freak. Listen to your disgusting put-downs.
You're supporting the murder and starvation of children, and you don't think you're a freak?
Now, let me tell you. Now, listen to what Cenk is saying. Cenk is saying that Israel killed 60 times the people of those who were attacked on October 7th. So for him, by the way, that's a lie, because even if we accept the Hamas ministry numbers of 60,000.
Kind of continues in this vein, so I'm going to move it forward a bit. So you can kind of see how the moderator
Israel loves genocide, and he loves
attempts to regain control over the debate, but as far as entertainment value, some may find it very entertaining, that type of back and forth and hostility. I always think without being able to hear what each side's point really is, and then handing it over to one, they say their piece, hand it back over to the other, a lot of probably good information gets lost in the translation. Let's see what we walk into next.
He
loves the murder of innocent Palestinian children. That's why he's yapping away like a monster.
I want to move on to the next question, gentlemen. Gentlemen, please. I have to move on to the next question. I'm going to direct this at Cenk.
He's trying.
Hang on, Rabbi, please.
Killed 14 places. I need to know. Name one place.
This is why I don't talk. This is why I don't do interviews with Rabbi Shmuley. He never shuts up.
In Gaza. Name one place in Gaza that Israel killed the 280 people. Name just one location. Go ahead. Name the city.
So
name the place in Gaza.
the top Holocaust.
Was it Jabalia? Was it Gaza City?
Can I say?
Allow Cenk to finish, Rabbi.
Say the name. Go ahead. Say the name.
The man talk.
Okay. The top Holocaust historian in America, who's an American Israeli citizen, dual citizen, who was a former IDF soldier. This guy's never going to live. There's no point in this.
What is the name?
Rabbi, please. Rabbi, please.
Okay.
The
top Holocaust.
I'll give them all credit though that they don't just walk off the show. I mean, they hang in there, and that's something.
Thank you. That's all. That was my point. He doesn't know.
You shut up?
He cannot name a single place. He cannot name a single place.
I want to move on to the next question.
Yeah, we need one.
To move on to the next question, please.
Ignoramus. Nothing is based on fact.
Rabbi, please, I want to move on to the next question, and I want to direct it at Cenk.
He doesn't know the cities. You are an ignoramus. You don't know history.
Rabbi, please, I want to move on to the next question. I'm moving on now. Rabbi, I'm moving on to the next question.
Just cut his mic. He's pointless. In fact, you should get him up.
Okay, Cenk. I'm going to direct this at you.
Baboon, just yell and scream. I love killing Palestinian children.
At both of you, please. I'm moving on to the next question. I'm directing it at Cenk. We've seen a lot of horrendous footage of people being shot, attempted to get food in Gaza. How can Israel defend this?
Okay, another brief moment for two sponsors. That's the word, and we're back.
Well, it's obviously indefensible. That's why a lot of great Jews and Israelis across the world are now speaking out. What I was trying to say before the baboon interrupted me was that the top Holocaust historian in the country.
You're calling
Here we go
Jews
again.
Monkeys and apes, disgusting. How vile are you?
Now this is a very quick-handed tactic where one side refers to the other side as something in particular, and the other side takes it and rephrases it or remixes it as though they were talking about a whole group of people, a whole demographic. When obviously again, Cenk was talking about the rabbi, referring to him in that less than pleasant way, and the rabbi grabs that and flips it around, remixes it, and says, "You're referring to a whole ethnic group or religious group of people or demographic in the way you've just, described me. When Greg is just specifically talking about him, but he tries to like highlight that again without much success, as you'll see.
Murder Muslims for fun. You don't get to talk about racism. You murder Palestinian children for land. You are a disgusting genocidal pig. So you don't get to talk about racism and anti-Semitism. Oh, poor little victim. And by the way, I got 5 seconds in before the baboon interrupted.
Rabbi, allow Cenk to answer. Allow Cenk to answer, please.
You call me a baboon? You're just,
please go, Cenk.
You're just an embarrassment.
Soon he'll be throwing feces
That moderator is a patient dude.
onto the screen.
You're an embarrassment.
Okay.
You're just an
Please continue, Cenk. Please, Rabbi. You'll get your time to respond. You'll get your time to respond, Rabbi.
This is unacceptable. You will not call Jews monkeys and apes. You are a...
It's all unacceptable to not give each other the chance to get your word in. Edgeways.
Disgusting, vile, Jew hater to your core. I've never met anyone like you.
Don't care what you think. You're a genocidal...
See, this subject is so emotionally charged that that's kind of what you're going to see on a lot of debates where that subject is being talked over.
Jews are apes. Disgusting.
What does the Nazi think of my language?
Referring to the conflict over there, Middle East, Palestine and Gaza, and some describe it as the Israel-Palestine war, whatever reference, term, language you want to choose. It's a brutal subject and a brutal debate, even for the most calmest of people. You'll have seen on many shows.
I'm so concerned. What does the murderer of children think of my language? Oh, the problem is my language. The problem isn't that you're murdering Palestinian children.
I got it. Go ahead. You said Jews are apes.
No, they're not. I'm just defending Jews. I was just defending Jews when you interrupted like a baboon. I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about you who can't shut up
you are
and throw
a
your verbal diarrhea at us 24/7.
You are a rancid hater who is so
Yeah. Everybody hates the Jews. That's your excuse for murdering Muslims.
You don't know anything. That's what bothers me. What bothers me is that you don't know history.
See, I don't know how well these guys get on or don't get on off screen. They definitely don't appear to warm to each other when they meet on the debate show.
Genocidal,
hey, brother, there's no point to this conversation. There's no point to this conversation.
Your show is
an idiot won't shut up.
Who killed 3 million
this is the only thing Israelis have. Just talking over people.
Rabbi, Cenk, deep breath in, exhale, deep breath out, hold your thought, go again.
Because there's such grotesque liars and murderers.
Okay, please, Rabbi, I'd like to ask you a question. Rabbi.
I didn't get to answer. No, I didn't get to answer. Baboon won't let me talk. He even looks like one.
Rabbi Shmuley, please allow Cenk to finish.
What we're listening to. I will never use an ad hominem attack against how he looks, ever.
I'm going to move it forward a little bit, just to get to a point where they started to wrap it up, which they actually do, as a matter of fact, and made their closing arguments, although the whole thing has been an argument and is an argument. I'd like to take the time to have a word from our video sponsors today, who are EA, Elite Artists. If you happen to be based in the UK and you're planning an event, if you're a bar, restaurant, pub, any type of venue, you host weddings and you regularly need to book pianists, covers bands, originals bands, any kind of live music entertainment, these are the people to look to. They'll take care of your needs. You can, if you're a private individual and you need some consulting as to what would suit your event, they'll give you the bespoke touch. If you're, like I said, a large organization, you can book bands regularly, very easy through the app. Check them out.
Elite Artists have been bringing people together in pubs across the country since 2010. Indie, pop, jazz, Motown, soul, classic rock. Solos, duos, trios and bigger bands. Added to the roster by audition only. Search Elite Artists on the App Store or Google Play today. Every artist on the Elite Artist roster is hand-picked, auditioned live by our team. We've heard them, we've seen them, we know they deliver. No backing tracks, just real live music, where the music can never be questioned. Exceptional pianists bring atmosphere to every occasion. A Sunday brunch set, or a luxury hotel lounge. Elegant and timeless. Book your pianist today. Our exceptional...
There you have it. Elite artists cater for all your live music entertainment needs. That actually got me bopping my head and clicking my fingers for a minute, and it was a refreshing break from the intensity of the versus debate. We'll get back to it and see what their closing arguments are.
Study music theory, harmony, and ear training online with Berkeley's renowned faculty. Download.
Were killed not by Israel, and that's why he cannot name one location for the IDF. He can't name a single location. Name it now, Cenk. Give me one location.
Allow Cenk to respond, Rabbi. I'm going to put the same question to Cenk. Has it been Netanyahu's plan all along to annex Gaza?
Yeah, if you notice, he threw out a lot of verbal distractions and squirrels there. Oh, well, let's go back 20 years. Let's go back 100 years. Let's go back to this or that, because he didn't want to answer your question, because Netanyahu has said it. They're going to occupy all of Gaza. They call it Judea and Samaria. They're calling it a full conquest. This is, let's be honest, a nation that was formed through land theft. Then in 1967, attacked all of its neighbors and stole more land. And they did a peace deal with Egypt. Here we go, the interruptions. Okay.
Please, Rabbi, allow Cenk to finish. Allow Cenk to finish.
1967, Gamal Abdel
There's no
Nasser
point in this.
Rabbi, allow Cenk to finish. Please, Rabbi, you'll have your turn after this. Allow Cenk to finish.
Ignorance.
Allow Cenk to finish. You'll have your time to respond after this. Please, go on, Cenk.
Please do.
So after they attacked all their Arab neighbors in 1967, and you could all look it up, it's a fact. They then stole the Sinai Peninsula, the Gold.
When I say good, I don't mean he's handling it in the most skillful way. I mean, he's patient. The fact that he can hang in there and still try and do his thing. So, yeah, good in that sense.
Golan Heights, West Bank, Gaza Strip. They brutally occupied those areas for 58 years. They claim their democracy while they keep 5.5 million Palestinians as hostages and prisoners. They don't have any rights. And then they did this comical trick of, oh, we left Gaza.
I mean, I'll comment on Cenk's side on that particular point. You do rarely hear about the people who are being held under, I think it's a military type of a law where you don't have to have any charges against you. You don't have any representation, so they're being held indefinitely. It's not an excuse for, what any one side is doing. It's just there's, as most people know, suffering on both sides of the fence.
Oh, if anyone objects to anything we're doing, we'll just murder, this 61,000 of you. We'll put you in a concentration camp. We'll level the whole place. But you guys have independence. Does it look like Gaza has independence? So this guy keeps telling you to believe things that are so obviously not true. So, but now, since he can't defend what the Israeli government is saying, he's making up these things, these fanciful things.
I wouldn't say everything Rabbi Shmuley has to say is wrong. It's just a lot of them are not easy to digest if you like to deal with logic and facts.
About a vote for the Palestinians in Gaza. Are you kidding me? I would love a vote. I would love a vote. And guess what they would vote for? They would vote for an independent state. And guess what would happen next? Israel would murder them and take their land, which is what they're doing right now.
Would they vote for Hamas?
They have no freedom. Israel is not a democracy. Israel
Why
does
do you
nothing
want
but
Hamas
propaganda.
to control Gaza? All
Here
you
we go
want is
again.
Hamas to control Gaza. You're pro-Hamas.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm against Hamas?
No. Those are words.
Yeah,
You want
liking
Israel.
What else am I supposed to do?
Netanyahu never said he's going to occupy Gaza. He said he's going to occupy Gaza until he dismantles Hamas. That's what he said. Israel does not.
I mean, this moderator doesn't even seem to be present at times. It just could be the stress of dealing with these two large vocal characters. When you catch both of them on Piers Morgan Uncensored, he lets them run for a bit. He handles it in a completely different way. He's not so laid back, you could say, when it comes to letting them climb over each other like that.
And then what, he's going to leave? Are you really this much of a liar that you would say that they're going to leave after they occupy all of Gaza?
Let me respond.
Israel never leaves. Israel's a bully, imperial, colonial genocide.
Right, we're going to get to the closing argument.
How can you have a state with people who actually dehumanize you? I'm sitting in a city right now in Budapest.
First with Rabbi Shmuley, and then I'll take it back to Cenk.
You guys dehumanize and murder the Palestinians. And this guy's justifying taking their land.
Shut your mouth, please. 550,000 Jews were murdered here in Budapest. And it was because of people like Cenk, who's serving on this.
No, it was because of people like you. It was exactly.
Just want to throw this out there. Please let your views land in our comment section. Like the video if you could do. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, take the time to do that. It's much appreciated. And I will do my very best to respond to every one of your comments. Good, bad, and the ugly. That's the realm we're in. So, yeah, if you got something to say, drop it in the comments. And please give us a like on this video.
Because of people like you who dehumanize Palestinians and say killing their babies is no big deal. You sound exactly like the people who murdered those Jews in the Holocaust.
I have heard blacks called baboons in my lifetime. I've heard Jews called baboons. I've just never heard it on a respect.
Yeah, it's not nice. Although that's how people deal with each other in these current times and past times as well. I'll also just like to do a quick shout out to anyone who's viewing us on FB, and thank you everybody over there for the support you've been showing over recent weeks, days and months. Please carry on supporting the channel. It allows us to do what we're doing, to react to more of these videos, feature more of these clips, share knowledge when the opportunity comes along to do that, and just keep on keeping on. So yeah, shout out to all of those reviews over on FB and here at YouTube. Again, love the support, love the comments, love the new subscribers, and yeah, if you can keep it going, I will keep it going on my end.
I don't actually think I've ever heard anybody called a baboon
the fact that he has called me a baboon is.
And moving to the question, Rabbi, is a two-state solution possible?
Wait, the reason why they could experiment on Jews was because of the kind of things that this Joseph Goebbels propagandist says about Jews.
Is a two-state solution possible?
Wait. The reason why they could experiment on Jews was because of the kind of things that this Joseph Goebbels propagandist says about Jews. Cenk is
saying
Hamas.
The Palestinians cannot govern themselves, that they're subhuman.
And he calls us
ironically quoting Mengele.
Listen, I've heard Cenk being called a lot of things, but likening him to Goebbels, that's a little bit of a stretch. In the heat of the moment, many things are said.
You sound like Mengele. Call the Palestinians subhuman one more time.
He calls him Goebbels.
Not only am I not going to say they're not subhuman, they are my equal before God in every way. I would never call you a baboon.
That's why you murdered their children.
Goebbels anti-Semite. You are a Joseph Goebbels anti-Semite who wants Jews experimented on.
You want. No one cares. Everybody on the planet Earth knows you're a liar.
Right now.
Just very briefly, Rabbi, we're just out of time.
Right now, there cannot be a two-state solution so long as people like Cenk Uygur, anti-Semitic to the core.
They're going to take the land.
You hear Cenk. You hear that he doesn't know anything about history. He hates Jews to the core. He's a medieval anti-Semite. He believes that Jews
defended Jews. You're the one who attacked them.
And we hear
you're the anti-Semite.
Jews who want to surrender. You love dead Jews.
Okay, gentlemen, we're just out of time. I'm going to have to leave it there.
With a conscience, you're an anti-Semite.
A state like Cenk Uygur, whose show is named after the people who perpetrated the Armenian genocide.
He admitted they're going to take Gaza.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there.
They're a bunch of thieves.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there.
The Palestinians and take their land. That's Israel 101.
Cenk Uygur, the host of the Young Turks, and Rabbi Shmuley, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well,
that's all we have time for.
There you have it. The big battle between two big YouTubers, journalists, commentators, representing, defending each their own side, and that's what we are left with. So at this point in the proceedings, I would just like to say once again, thank you for stopping by, spending a bit of time here at CornerSpeak. Myself, Oni Radye. I'll be back tomorrow, or maybe later on this evening, this morning, to do another quick live. And I think more like later in the day, the way it's looking. So once again, thank you so much. Support, keep supporting, keep on keeping on. Drop your views, opinions in the comments. Like the video, please. And if you haven't yet subscribed to CornerSpeak, take a moment to do that. And also check out some of my other content and some of the one-to-ones, a few of them, even some of the slightly more music related content. And we have a lot of political, education, and a varied spread of things for you to delve into. But now, be good, be safe if you can, and be creative. For myself, Oni Radio here at CornerSpeak, I am almost out of here. We out.